Welcome back to rheumatoidsolutions.com. We have a guest coming back today who was on the show about 3 years ago. And she was fabulous, talking about how she managed to keep her symptoms at bay and raise 2 young children. And I've invited her back today to tell us about where she's up to and to explain to us what it's like to be living a long-term, pain-free, drug-free life with rheumatoid arthritis. So, Maya, welcome back.
Thank you so much, Clint. I'm happy to be back.
You're looking so well and so healthy. So clearly everything's going well for you.
Yeah, thank you. I feel extremely healthy, much better than I did previously in previous years. But yeah, I've been on your program for a little over 3 years, 3.5 years, about there. And I've been doing fantastic these past few years. It's an amazing lifestyle. I am amazed to be off all medication and living a normal life, exercising, and it's been really, really amazing.
Yes. Now, for those of our audience, and probably the majority who may not have seen or listened to our first episode, because it was 3 years ago, what we discussed, if people would like to go back and look at that, is everything about raising a young family and falling pregnant and breastfeeding, all during a period whilst taking methotrexate, prednisone, and so on. So if you're at sort of the childbearing years and wanting to have a baby, or know someone who's looking at doing that with rheumatoid arthritis, and then negotiating the medications and the risks and challenges, then go back and watch that episode. It's a good one. It was March 2018. So go back over and check that out. You can find that on paddisonprogram.com/blog and just type in Maya, Maya. Today, we're going to talk about, a lifestyle that continues to maintain your health and keep you symptom-free. And so why don't we get straight into it and talk about, what does your day look like? What time do you go to bed? What time do you get up? What time do you eat your meals? Why don't we start with that kind of that framework?
Sure, absolutely. A lot of it stems from your program, like that really laid the groundwork for kind of my lifestyle today. It starts in the morning with a green juice, your cucumber celery juice that you recommended. I've been drinking it every day for the past 3.5 years since, the day I started your program. I haven't skipped it since. Even if I go away on vacation or anything and I can't juice my own juice, there are so many juice places out there these days. So I do get, green juice or some form of green juice, no matter what. So that's number one. I definitely start my day with that. And then I eat breakfast. Usually I have the same thing every day and I'm not sick of it, but I have, gluten-free oats that I make with just a little cashew milk and coconut milk, half and half, and just some dates to sweeten it. Once I discovered that, I was hooked on it, and I've been eating it literally every day for like years, but I'm not sick of it. So I eat that probably around like 8:30. I am like a morning person. And then prior to that too, I like to exercise in the morning also. Like that's another thing I've been extremely thankful for after finding your program, is being able to run again, do yoga again, and do all these things that really, brightens my day. It puts me, starting my day on the right foot. So I'm super thankful that the program has gotten me to a point where I can do all that. And then lunch is usually always a salad.
Just
I
one
change it up.
second.
Yeah.
Do you agree? Do you basically get up, green juice, then exercise, then your oats?
Yeah, sometimes I exercise before the green juice. Depends on what time my kids wake me up.
Right.
Whenever I could sneak out the door for a run, that's when I'm going,
Okay. And normally a run.
Normally a run, yep, or a yoga. It's between the two, but I've been getting more into the running these past couple of years. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. And then lunch, I get hungry early. I'm more of an early person, but like 12:30, I usually eat lunch. It's usually generally a salad, but I switch it up. There's a lot of options for me these days. I'm not limited to, certain foods. I remember being challenged by that in the beginning of your program because you have to build up into it. But fear not, years later, I can eat. There's so many things I can eat, but I am very just routine based. So I generally eat the same stuff. I make different salad dressings, which I really like. I switch that up a little bit. I do a lot with turmeric because that's been helpful for me, or ginger, tahini, things like that. And then dinner, I generally eat. I know your program says, I think, to finish dinner prior to 7, which is no problem for me because I'm hungry by, 5:30, 6 o'clock, we're eating. Yeah. And then I go to bed early. I turn in early by 9:30, 10, really. I'm asleep. Um, and then, for my kids and my family too, that's the one thing. We don't eat the same things. I do try to help, my kids eat some healthy things, and they do. And I love that they eat vegetables as much as they do, because I didn't eat vegetables as a kid, that much. So to see them, going towards this healthier lifestyle makes me very, very happy. But still, I'll give them, chicken tenders or whatever. So it is different meals. And my husband too. We kind of, but yeah, that's pretty much my day to day. That's been it for the past couple of years. And I've been flare free, pain free, med free, all this time. So it's working. It's
Yeah,
just,
it's incredible, isn't it?
it is.
It's incredible. So, for any naysayers who say the power of food or isn't there, or that we can't see any changes if we change our diet, it's nothing short of absurd. Not only from a scientific point of view, and you can read it in the science, but also in like the anecdotal stuff. Just literally like listening to you, and it's like, well, how can this not be ignored? How can it not be ignored?
Yeah. Yeah. It's sad to
Mm.
see people that don't believe it, or, for
Mm.
me, it's easy for me to say it doesn't matter because I feel good. And that's all the
Mm.
proof that I need in my life. And I can go on with my daily lifestyle, living a, normal life. But it is sad for me to see other people with RA or other autoimmune diseases, struggling. And, there's
Mm.
varying degrees of the disease too. But I mean, what diet can do for it just is amazing. And I just wish more people would be on board with at least trying, because, they could be
Yeah.
where I'm at in a year.
Yes.
And that's,
And I think it's worthy to point out that you're doing a lot of things right, and it's not just the diet. So you've got the diet right, but you're also getting your rest at night, getting to bed early. There's a lot of train of thought and a lot of belief around the hours we get before midnight are so much more crucial than the ones we get after midnight. That's debated a lot in the science, but I think everyone would agree that the closer we get to living in our circadian rhythms of when the sun's up, we get up, and after the sun's down, look, start thinking about making your way towards rest at, not too long after that. And then you're also getting your juice in the morning, in your exercise going. So you're getting all of those benefits as well. And it just sounds like you've got also just a sort of a balance in your life. You seem like you're not flighty. You have a calmness about you, which means that, you've set up your life to support your healing as opposed to being frantically entrepreneurial, and chasing tight deadlines. And I'm extrapolating a lot just from listening to you talk here, and I might be off the mark, but you certainly do appear calm and balanced. Okay. So you've got all those things going on. And I just wanted to put that all into more of a bigger picture, because I have done episodes which were titled "Diet is Never Enough," and they also are valuable to learn and listen to, because for most people, if they just change their diet, it might be an incremental, might get them half the way there, but then there's all this other stuff that needs to be done as well. And
Mhm.
so you're a wonderful example of being able to get the whole way using all of the interventions, which
Yeah.
is just
Yeah.
awesome.
That's very true. Like stress management, I think, is extremely important too. They talk about, some of that contributing towards, your inflammation. And I think when I was diagnosed, it was an extremely stressful time in my life too. And I know it was also the food I was eating, but also, the stress that I was causing my body, and my
Mm.
lifestyle at the time. So I definitely agree. I think stress management is also extremely important.
Yeah. What do you do on that front? Because you do appear to be pretty chilled out.
Actually, I started meditating more recently. I've tried it here and there. I could never get into the zone because I'm type A. I'm on the go type of person. I mean, I'm a mom of two kids. I work so I am kind of naturally that way. And I tried meditating, and it's hard because to still your mind, I can't sit there because I'm thinking of all the million things that I have to do. Um, but I recently downloaded, there's different apps available on your phones. I recently downloaded one, and I've been doing this, and it's been helpful. There's more guided meditation, and you can find them. There's YouTube, there's anywhere, but it's been extremely helpful. I've been doing it for like a month now or so, and I'm loving it. I think that's honestly helped me kind of calm down a little
Mm.
bit more and be a little more present and patient and all of that. So
Mm.
that's extremely helpful. I do yoga also. I think that's also a different type of exercise for me. That's helpful, but also calming. It's kind of the opposite of running. When I'm running, I'm kind of the cardio and building up and going fast, and this is kind of a slower paced, but still, your exercise. And I get a lot out of that also.
Yeah, both of them still, though, draw your mind back into the body. When you're running, it's very hard to kind of, if you're running enough so that the body's kind of at a fairly elevated level of activity, your mind just gets pulled into the body. It can't be worried about stuff. It's like, wow, I got to concentrate here. Boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom.
Right.
And I think it's this single-mindedness, this single focus. If it's
Exactly.
running, it's like, oh, get the breath right, my knees, everything, all these little things, but I'm focused on the body. And with the yoga, again, it's like concentrating on your breath. So you're just pulling all those thoughts back into a reduced number of thoughts.
Mm.
And then meditation, of course, we're trying to reduce them even to fewer. And so I guess fewer thoughts equals, more calm.
Yeah. Yeah. Fewer thoughts and your breath is calmer. And
Yeah.
that, I think
Mm.
lowers
Yes.
everything down in a good way.
Yes.
We
Okay.
don't need to slow
Wonderful.
down.
So let's jump back to your diet, because something that was circling in my mind when you were talking about your lunch was your salad lunch. Now, what do you put on the salad? Because we don't want people to think, well, she's not eating enough calories, that's why she feels good. Or, but I can't eat a salad. What am I just going to eat leaves for lunch? That's not going to work. I'm going to stop watching. Right?
I've gotten great with my salads, actually. I make a great salad. I make all different kinds, and I do kind of switch up what I put on top. But usually I'll put alfalfa sprouts, edamame, red cabbage, shredded carrots. I don't love carrots. I just put a little in there for the color, but and the vitamin A, but a little carrots. And then I'll do a fruit like an apple or a mango, just a couple pieces in there just for the sweetness. And then I usually do a protein, either tofu or tempeh I put in there. And that's really it. And then I top it with dressing, and I do different kinds of dressing, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
wonderful. Now, I'm curious about the edamame. That's not a common addition. Are you talking about the sort of baby green soybeans that are normally put into sort of Japanese foods?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
great,
So
great.
just like it's already shelled, so it's already
Yeah,
just, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Okay,
Yeah.
they're great. They're really good with their fat balance as well. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
edamame is a great food.
Good to know.
Yeah,
I didn't
great.
know that. I just
Okay.
like them.
And then for dinner, then you'll do sort of a starch-based steamed or boiled or something like this, or a curry, only things like that, right?
Yep, I do like the basmati rice I've stuck with. or I'll do like sweet potatoes as like my starch. I usually put I make like a kale or spinach pesto sauce, and it's just kale or spinach, a couple of raw cashews, some basil, some lemon juice, garlic, and a little water. And I pour that on top just for extra greens. So I don't love vegetables. I'm still never there. Like I'll eat them. I like a salad, okay, but I don't like eating broccoli or like whatever. So I like to just juice my juice my greens, or like I'll put it in a sauce or something, just so I'm getting that intake and still getting the benefit of them. Um, and then sometimes a protein, sometimes not. Sometimes again the tofu or the tempeh, and that's really it. I don't do a lot of beans. I don't think I can tolerate them. I've tried to introduce them, here and there. It's been over a year. I could maybe try again. But what I found with reintroducing foods is, especially after you've healed for a while, that I have to eat that food. If I eat it once, I'm fine. But if I eat it consecutively for like 7 days and I start to feel a little bit stiffness, then I know that that's that food, because
Yeah.
otherwise it's been hard for me to really pinpoint still, after you've healed for so long.
Yes. So it's a subtle, it's like it's not like an alarm going off. It's more
No,
like there's a
just a
little
gentle
bit.
reminder. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
gentle
right.
stiffness.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Mm,
yeah, but I still introduce new foods here and there. There's a lot
mm,
of fantastic like vegan restaurants near us, thankfully. So I try different foods there.
mhm.
I find that vegan restaurants are very accommodating. Like if you have an allergy or anything, that they want to
Yeah.
know about it, and they make sure, so that's always
Yeah.
comforting,
I feel
because
sorry for vegan cafe chefs. I mean, they must get some of the most
oh
challenging
yeah,
requests ever.
yeah, yeah.
Um, that people like us show up and we just ask for these complex modifications, and
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm
Yeah,
very
I feel like I've
grateful for
gotten
that.
easier to be an easier customer. In the beginning, I was like, I can't have this is, but now that I've introduced more, I'm just like, no
Yeah,
peppers. I can't do peppers, so I say no peppers. It's
yeah,
I'm easier in that sense, but yeah.
yeah,
And my
yeah. That's
husband now
great.
knows what I can and cannot have. So if I send him to do the food shopping, like he's always trying to get something new for me, and he knows, which is really nice, because in the beginning it was a lot of confusion from my
Mm,
family and even my
mm,
husband, like what can you have, what can't you have, always worried about me. There's still some of that, but like I remember first Christmas, everyone was so concerned. What are you going to
mm,
eat? I'll be fine. I'll bring my own food. I know you're going to have this. Like, I will be fine. And it's just kind of planning ahead for those moments, like where, like if you can't eat, like we have an engagement party on Saturday. I'll eat ahead just to be safe, because I don't know what they're going to have. And I'm sure there'll be something, and I'm not going to go starving. But it's just, kind of changing our lifestyle up a little bit, planning ahead a little bit more. And yeah, that's how I've really been living these past couple of years.
What do you do with your evening meals? I know there's a lot of friction associated in a lot of families with eating different things. What are
Mhm.
your tips for someone who wants to do this but thinks, but how am I going to eat at night different to my family?
It's really not that hard for me. It's just more planning out, what I'm going to have. I pre-make rice usually, so it's in there for me. So if I need something quick, I can have that, and I'll change up what I put on top. And then my kids, we pre-plan stuff. They eat a lot of the same stuff. Like if it's a veggie or the rice, like they'll eat that, and then I'll change up like their main whatever they're eating. And my husband gets scraps. No, he gets a mishmash of everything. But no, he likes certain foods too that, it's interesting. Like my youngest daughter, who I had to take prednisone during that pregnancy, I was also not eating meat. I wasn't eating gluten. And it's funny, I feel like she is turned off of some of those foods too. Like she doesn't like a lot of meat. Like she doesn't want to eat it. And I'm like, I wonder if I like changed up what she's into because of what I ate when I was pregnant. But it is interesting. She likes veggies, she likes rice, and she's happy. But my husband, like sometimes he wants meat, and so he'll make it himself. He'll make burgers on the grill and, but it's funny with him too. He likes vegan restaurants. He'll always say a vegan hamburger is like the best hamburger he's ever had. And, we'll buy it sometimes, for him to make it home too. But, he's open to different foods too. It's just, you have 2 kids and we both work. So it's a lot of like quick, we got to find something to eat most of the time, So it is pre-planning a lot of that also.
Yeah, yeah. I can see that the friction in your family has been reduced to as little as possible. And your husband sounds accommodating, but also has his own sort of personal preferences. But at the same time, it sounds like if you really wanted to become extremely confrontational about this, he probably would be, okay, look, I'll eat what you want me to eat. But at the moment, it's all in nice equilibrium.
Yeah. And you know what? I've never been a great cook. I've never been interested in it. Like I do it now for myself because that's my lifestyle. And I feel like if I was a better cook and I could make some delicious meal for my whole family, like they would all eat it. It's just, I'm not that person and I don't have all the time, to be, I feel like cooking takes a lot of time. Maybe that's just me in my mind, but there are certain things I make for myself. Like I make this like turmeric coconut rice. They all love it. Every single one of my family loves that. So when I make that, like I'll make a big batch and like everyone can eat that. So like more foods like that, like I would say like if you are a great cook and you can throw things, that's never been me. I need to follow a recipe, but if you can like throw things together, and I'm sure there's things that, the whole family could eat. So it's eating the same meal and not having to, give different things, but
My
that's where I'm
wife
at.
loves her favorite recipe book at the moment is from Forks Over Knives. They've got a fantastic recipe book that's perfect for our family. So, again, like normally a starch and then lots of legumes, beans and lentils and stuff, which I know may exclude a lot of their recipes for you at the moment. But in our family, that's really common. And everything's no oil. And it's just, it's very, very clever. The recipes in that book are great. I highly recommend it. Any of the recipes from Forks Over Knives, they're fantastic.
That's great. I've been on their website before. I'll check out the book though. That would be great.
Yeah, just an Amazon click and you'll have it.
Yeah, awesome.
Let's talk about philosophy. Just your whole view on this, and what keeps you on track? What keeps you thinking, I want to stay doing what I'm doing? And tell us a lot of the thoughts that you have on repetition that keep your habits as they are.
Well, we've all experienced the pain of RA, right? That to me is enough to keep me going. Like I never want to be back there ever. The frustration that you feel, the anger, the sadness, like I remember that. I remember that time in my life and I never want to go back there. So that keeps me going every single day. Like, I don't need anything else. That's it. That was enough for me. And, I was diagnosed in 2012 and found remission. I only had it for 5 years. So let's say before I found your program and like started to get into remission. So there's people that had it for years. So they probably experienced longer, So for me, only experiencing it 5 years, but it's enough. That's enough for me to remember and keep me going every single day. And you know what? It does get easier. Like in the beginning, yeah, it is kind of a hard change to change up your lifestyle that drastically. And like I mentioned, like your family members are all confused and what can you eat? And, but it gets so much easier. Like we don't even think twice about these things anymore. Like it's just your natural, your natural day. And it's just part of our routine. And so it's easy. I think the ease of it, it's not that hard. And then remembering how bad the pain is, like that is all I really need to keep me going. It's not a huge sacrifice to me, I'd rather live this way and, be free from pain than let RA rule my life,
And your blood test results are fantastic as well. Last C-reactive proteins less than 0.2 milligram per liter, you mentioned just before we hit record.
Yeah,
so,
I just got results back yesterday.
From a quantitative medical perspective, you're in great shape, It's tremendous.
Yeah. Yeah. The blood markers are the proof. How you feel is proof, but knowing that the blood backs that up also it's just a reminder, and it makes me understand like this is sustainable and it works, and
Mm.
so yeah, I feel wonderful.
Yes. Is there anything else that you'd like to share? Is there something that you feel we need to cover on this theme of maintaining wellness once we already reach a state of equilibrium? Is there something else that you would like to make sure that we cover to share with people who are in this situation, or just getting into this situation, or seeking to get into the situation?
Mm-hmm. I would say just to remain as consistent as possible with it. Don't ever get complacent, because we do have this disease, and it's with us for life, and you have to get it right. You can't cheat. You can't, unfortunately we can't. And if you want to be in remission and be in control of this disease, then I think you have to be in control of your diet, and you can't let that spin out of control. Complacency gets tough. You and I were speaking earlier, before this recording, about a flare I had, just one recently. And it's just because I got complacent with, actually I had two. The first one was I didn't read a label properly. I had a pressed juice, which was just like lemon and ginger. And I didn't read it carefully. It said paired with cayenne. I can't have peppers. I drank that juice and I flared up in my finger. And then the second one was because I think I was getting complacent. I was allowing myself to have ice cream, vegan, gluten-free, but, I got on that kick a little bit, and, you pay the price. So if you're going to cheat, you're going to pay the price. If you want to win and you want to curb your RA, then, you know what you have to do, and just stick with it. So just don't get complacent, be consistent with it, and you can live a fantastic lifestyle.
Yeah, awesome. Great advice. Great chat overall. I think that what you're doing is absolutely sensational. And, I really appreciate you spending some time with us. I think I saw an update from you on Instagram, which is how I connected with you again after a few years. And I said, hey, why don't you come tell us where you're at? Because people, can create testimonials of other lifestyle interventions and say, wow, like a paleo diet really helped me with my symptoms, or I went keto, or even some people are doing the sort of insanity carnivore thing. And testimonials can then be created within like a few weeks and say, look, I took out all this stuff out of my diet and now I'm feeling a bit better. Mm-hmm. But, sometimes I literally pray to God for those people, because that future is not going to look good on those platforms that are fat heavy, meat heavy, and vegetable and plant devoid. Mm-hmm. So what we're demonstrating today is that you and I spoke 3 years ago, and you're doing even better today than what you were 3 years ago when you felt great. Mm-hmm. So this is not something that's fleeting. Being able to live this lifestyle is very possible. It's very doable. Like you said, once you get into the habits, the routine, it's just crank it out, becomes part of your life, and you can focus on other aspects of your life, like your job, your family, travel, things that excite you and uplift you, and not just focused on, the fundamentals obsessively, but you move on. Your mind thinks about other things. So
yeah,
this has been tremendous.
Yeah. That's the way life should be lived, not in a bed with ice packs. There's much more to be doing.
Right. That's right. So thank you. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Why don't we get back together in 3 more years?
Sounds good. I'll be here.
and we'll do another update, and we'll learn from you again then, if not sooner. So thanks so much. It's been lovely to see you again.
Thank you, Clint. You as well.